Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Look Finance SEQFC Preview Show with thanks to Vilic Law. I'm Darren, and for part one this week, we're going to the Gold Coast, and we've got Mark Madge who's with us again. Hello, Mark.
Hi, Darren. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Mate, I was just thinking before, I was going to call you a skeg. Is skeg still a word for people who live on the coast, for people who go surfing?
I've never heard of that word before personally, so I couldn't tell you on that one, so probably not.
Right, skegs might have finished up in the 90s, perhaps.
Yeah.
All right, so let's quickly have a look at the two top leagues in the Gold Coast.
Yep.
Pretty much as you were, all the good teams won, except maybe Broadbeach United breaking their duck.
There's all good teams. All our 8 are good teams, Darren. So I'll recorrect you on that one. They're all good. No, again, another big week of Premier League action, obviously here. Coomera getting the job done 1-0 against Rabina to remain on top of the table. That was through an Enrique penalty. They probably haven't played their best in the past 2 weeks, but they've got 6 points. That's probably the biggest difference between them this year and in years gone by. That they can get 3 points when they need to, and even if they don't play too well. Rabina are only going to get better. Like I said, that Lockie Roos, that signings come in, he played fantastic on the weekend. They're only going to grow from strength to strength. And again, they've got another big matchup this weekend. But I really have positive thoughts and on what they can do. Surface, obviously, in Burley, the grand final rematch. The way Burley started, though, that match, the first 15, 20 minutes, I think everyone was a bit surprised how they pressed really well, attacked really hard. I thought we were going to be for a very interesting 90 minutes. But then Surface managed to rally that storm, kick on, especially grabbing that goal right before the half-time, got them that 2-1 lead. And then in the second half, they had a lot of chances, could have been probably more. But again, they got the job done, which is the most important part. Palm Beach against Nerang. Nerang haven't got enough bodies at the moment. A lot of injuries, players still out. So again, playing Palm Beach, I've always said that. I said that last week, and I'll reiterate that again. Playing Palm Beach at 6 o'clock on a Saturday, I'll go out and say no one will beat them at that time slot at their home ground for the rest of the year. Surface were 30 seconds away. They were 3-2 up and copped a last-minute goal, but no one's going to beat them that time. They're too good. So their vocal support at Palm Beach is always great, and they got the job. And as you said, Broadbeach. I think I didn't mention it. I won't call myself on the stump. I did say Broadbeach would get 3 points in our tipping comp. I did tip Broadbeach, one of the only ones. They will only grow. I still have belief that they will continually get better. In our league, it's hard. It's very hard when teams start to turn around and say this team can only grow. Usually, top teams grow or maintain that level throughout the whole season. That's why they're on the top. It's very rare to see anyone below that top 4 grow as the year goes on, even if they're not in the right place in the table. But I truly believe in this Broadbeach team that they will continue to grow. They'll only get better. And they will continue to take points. Everyone needs to be on red hot alert because, a couple more positive results and we're having a different conversation again overall there. So Southport probably started much better. They actually hit the post. I was at that game. There was an early kickoff on the Saturday. Hit the post, had a lot of chances in the opening periods. Once Broadbeach got that first goal, I think maybe Southport went into a bit of panic mode, thinking this shouldn't be happening. What can we do to fix it up, change their style of play a little bit, and didn't really suit them that well. But again, credit to Broadbeach, the way they played, the way they defended, clean sheet in the Gold Coast, which should be worth an extra point, even though we had 3 of them over the weekend. But overall, a fantastic week again of Gold Coast Premier League action, and we're even set for an even bigger week this week.
All right, so just looking at the ladder with Coomera on top on 15 points, Southport in 4th on 8th. You can't see anyone below Southport getting up here now. They're too far gone, right?
I could be called wrong, and this could be something that people take away from it and say, you said this in the midway point, look what happened. But again, that's what it's just. That's football. That's just how it is. I can't see anyone in that top 3 pressing on and winning the title. With the shortened season, you need to rely on not only picking up points week in, week out, but also relying that those teams, top three teams, when they play each other, have draws, they slip up against, and the congestion there is. If you look at it, the congestion between fourth, and I'd even say, I'd throw Broadbeach in there with 3 points. It's 5 points is nothing for a top four spot halfway through a year. One of those teams would have to go on literally 8-0 for the rest of the year, and rely that one of those top three don't go 7-1, even if you know what I mean, or something along those lines. Mathematically, it can happen. Everything can happen. It's football, but I would say the title is going to be going to one of those three teams. And Palm Beach being the most recent team to win the title out of those three in 2010. I'm not sure. I don't think Coomera has ever won a Premier League title. And Surface's last title was, Premier League, the league title, which is obviously the pinnacle of our sport, 2002. So it's been an 18-year wait. And funny enough, their coach, Alex, he was their captain the year they won it the last time on the field. So it could be a story there. But so, the tide might be swinging. Gone are the days of, domination of those bigger clubs, if you want to call it, your Burleys, your Broadbeaches, those systematic names we've been hearing. But again, I'd find it hard to see anyone out of that top three winning the title this year.
All right. So with that in mind, let's take a look at this weekend's matches. Broadbeach United against Burleigh, bottom of the table, but big chance for Broadbeach to kick on.
Big chance for both.
Jump the Dogs.
Big chance for both. Burleigh get 3 points here. They go right in that race for a top four spot. Broadbeach get 3 points. They're in there as well. And then obviously, to see the double winners go to bottom of the table at halfway point would be very interesting. Again, they have had changes, but they still have a great, I would arguably say 3 of their players would be in the top 10, 12 players in the whole league. That just shows you the overall strength of the competition and what happens if you don't come ready to play. Make errors in games. You're going to lose points on the Gold Coast. Gone are the days, I think, on the Gold Coast that even if you have a bad day, you can still get 3 points. I don't think that's the case anymore. Our coaches have been very vocal about that. Broadbeach will fancy themselves here. 6 o'clock kickoff at Broadbeach. Come try to get 3 points from us now. Bit of confidence in the squad this week. We had our Shooting Stars Challenge that goes around to all our clubs, the target practice. They had it earlier in the week on a Tuesday night. Obviously we were down there doing some stuff with them. They're on a high. They're feeling a buzz. They'll feel really confident going into this one. And Philo knows. The difference is Burleigh can kick on with a win here and really push teams. It's hard to go to Burleigh and win games. I said that last time. For Surface to do that was a fantastic victory and probably one of the best victories I'd say Surface had, beating Burleigh, even though they're where they are in the table. So if they can get 3 points here, I would not be betting against them to not make the top four, put it that way. I think if Burleigh can get a positive result here, I think they'll be able to kick on and make the four. Other than that, it'll be very interesting in that fixture.
Just give yourself a plug there, Mark. The Shooting Stars, what's that all about?
Yep, so we've had Westpac come on board to sponsor it. We obviously, a couple of years back, and I think it's a pretty known thing around many football leagues, is that obviously crossbar challenges are big. We had a crossbar challenge in 2013 sponsored by NAB, but now obviously Westpac came on board and we said, look, do you want to do a crossbar challenge again? They said NAB had that, so we want to do something different. We introduced the Shooting Stars. So the Shooting Stars is we go to all our Premier League and Coast League clubs. We have a curtain that we put in the size of a full goal, where we basically have targets. So top corner targets are worth 200 points, all the rest of it. Each club gets 16 shots, coach gets a shot, and we accumulate the totals, and the top 3 then go into, on our grand final day in the Premier League, to play for a $2,500 prize pool. So there's money on the line. Yeah, so there is money on the line, and we've had some good laughs. We haven't released any videos of that yet. They'll be coming soon, but we have done quite a few. I think we've done over 10 now, so we're well past halfway. It's been quite interesting to see some players and some clubs, I won't say who, I won't give too much away, but a Premier League club that we've already done has failed to get a single point, which was quite funny. So, yeah, that's basically part of the Shooting Stars and what it is, and it's been a fantastic initiative, kindly sponsored by Westpac, that we hopefully can continue in the future.
Sensational. And that's Football Gold Coast that will be eventually showing the videos, yeah?
Yeah, because our Facebook page, you'll see that all there. So I know a lot of people are obviously listening, and all of your viewers and you yourself always having a look at our page, and you'll see that up there. Hopefully start early next week and continuing on from there.
Very exciting. Very exciting. All right, let's get back to the games.
Yep.
All the matchups this weekend look to be very evenly matched teams on the ladder against each other. Let's go to Nerang and Southport. What do you see there?
Look, another crucial game for both sides. Southport obviously having the draw against Surface, and then that result there against Broadbeach. They wanted to get back to winning ways. Again, a lot of people, as I said, they didn't expect them to be in the position they're in, but now that they're there, they're expecting to win games. That's just how football is. If I said to Southport, I'm sure I've said this to Rob Semple plenty of times before, so I have no problem saying it here. If I said to you, Rob, will you take 8 points from the first 6 games as it was there? He's going to snap your hand off, as would probably a lot of coaches in that vicinity. Now, though, the time is now for them to go and kick on and push for that top 4 spot and put more pressure. Nerang need that. Again, Nerang get 3 points here. They're going ahead of Southport. I believe they're 5th, so they would, in essence, take that 4th spot at the halfway point, unless Robina go out and have a massive win. So, look, I think it'll all come down to how well the younger players in Nerang have to put in because of the injury toll and all the rest of it adjust to that game. Two sides that have pretty similar styles. I think it'll come down to, at the end of the day, 3 o'clock kickoff in the afternoon. The weather's getting a little bit hotter at the moment. We can see that. So overall, though, it should be a good matchup. Do I expect a lot of football? I won't lie. It might not be champagne football, but I can expect 2 sides eager for 3 points and putting all into it for 3 points. So it should be a fantastic matchup.
All right. We've got 6th versus 3rd. Robina hosting Palm Beach. Can Nathan Mulhern orchestrate an upset there?
Of course he can. I think it'd be stupid for me to say no. They have players coming in. They have a system in place now. They played fantastic against Coomera and had plenty of chances to win the game. Didn't take them. The issue for Robina in the first 6 games wasn't scoring. It was defending. Now they could defend. They only copped the 1 penalty, but they couldn't score. So, I think a good week of training here that they've had. Palm Beach will be favourites going into that game, as they should be. Obviously, they've had a fantastic start to the year. They're really pushing the boundaries and setting goals. I think though that this one might have a draw written all over it. I just see frustration from Palm Beach in an afternoon kickoff at Robina. It's a game they're expected to win. If Palm Beach go and get 3 points here, which again they can do, I think then we will start having serious conversations about them winning the title this year. Not that we aren't, as I said, they're right in there, but I still think they're not getting enough respect from the wider, broader public and football fraternity. But not from me, but from the wider football fraternity of being actual contenders week in, week out, and being the best team on the Gold Coast. They play fantastic football. They probably play one of the best football in our competition, the most exciting to watch. They've got a lot of good young players and a mix of older heads there that make them a pleasure to watch. When you go to watch a Palm Beach game, no matter where they are on the Gold Coast, that you'll be entertained. And I'm sure with those two, we're going to have another entertaining match on Saturday afternoon.
Excellent. And finally, the top of the table clash, the big game of the weekend, 1v2, Surface Paradise against Coomera.
This will be, this game will come down to, at the end, it'll just be key moments from their big players. Everyone always talks up these top of the table clashes, and they end up fizzling out and being the worst game. Sundays have a renowned history of being a bad game because it's a Sunday and it's an early kickoff and players' preparations are all over the place and whatever else. So, again, being top of the table and the clash that it is, I think Surface will go into it probably confident and get 3 points, as will Coomera. Coomera know they've got 6 points in the last out of 6, having not played well. So if they do play well, what's stopping them getting another 3 points? This is a game, again, because of the way it's worked out, if Surfers were to get 3 points, Coomera would still only be within the one game of them. So regardless of what happens, they'd still only be that 2 points behind. It's more of a matter, I think it's more of a Surfers must win than a Coomera must win. Personally, I think Coomera going for 4 points gives them that little bit of a buffer. And you don't want to be playing catch up with such a shortened season. Knowing my luck, I'm expecting something, from the stars, and for it to be a match that has its key moments, probably end up a 0-0 draw for all I know. But besides the point, it should be fantastic. It'll be a good afternoon at Surfers. It's a great place to go watch on a Sunday afternoon. So look forward to seeing what those two teams can do, and seeing who really has those aspirations to win that title this year, and who doesn't.
Brilliant. All right, let's turn now to the Coast League, and Kingscliff are maintaining their spot on top of the table.
Coast League this week, if you would have told me some of these results, I would have laughed at you. Kingscliff with the win there on Friday night, I popped my head in and had a brief look. Bond are a good team. They play, they're organised, they play good football. Kingscliff just got the job done, professional performance, only 3 points in that buffer, as you said, because Musgrave were held to a 1-1 draw with Mudgeeraba. If you looked at Mudgeeraba's results, you would have gone, this would be a cakewalk. But it wasn't, as the result shows. I believe they played with 10 men as well for the last 20 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Musgrave will look at this as we've put ourselves in a position now where we have to ensure we keep performing week in, week out. And Tweed, again, losing 3-0 to Pack Pines, throws everything wide open there. Obviously, top two get promoted, third gets the playoff spot, but now Tweed have a bye heading into this weekend. And then the first match back after their bye and their second half of the competition is Musgrave versus Tweed. So it's all there to play for. Again, you'd expect now for Kingscliff not to finish in the top two, something drastic would have to happen. I think they'd be pretty happy having one hand on promotion. They've got another interesting game this weekend, I believe, against Runaway Bay, if I'm not mistaken. And they'll be hoping that they can continue to kick on and put more pressure. Again, when you are out ahead, you have a clear view of the road and clear run. When you're from behind, you're waiting to see, will they pop a tyre? Will they veer off a little bit? And can I get a sneak in and a pass on the side and all these rest of it? So, critical week for everyone involved in Coast League. The next 2 to 3 weeks will be pivotal. I think an announcement has been made from because I don't think I'm releasing any information that shouldn't be released, but looks like Coast League season will get pushed forward a bit earlier and played some midweek matches. The threat of the border closures and the situation we're in, if we were to suspend the season and have no more Coast League action because of that border issue, it would mean no promotion, no relegation. It wouldn't be fair for those teams competing and all the rest of it, for anyone involved. So I believe that they've agreed to put some midweek matches coming up in a couple of weeks' time. So, to get that season, this is why I believe these next 2 weeks before those catch-up matches or before those midweek matches will be pivotal, because once that busy slog comes into place, everything gets much more messy, much more interesting. And you see some results that you go, oh, I didn't think that was coming. But again, it shows that competition is never straightforward. No competition in football ever is. And that's why we love our game.
You have a fantastic capacity, Mark, to answer my question before I even ask it. The two New South Wales teams on top of the ladder in the Coast League, those border crossings, there must be a lot of... coming from Brisbane, obviously we're not too familiar with crossing the border. Teams have to do paperwork every week. Is that right? Just to cross the border?
People have to do paperwork every week. Border pass is only relevant. The Border X passes are only relevant for 1 week. So those players have to consistently do it. Let's not forget, we hold probably about 1,100 players in northern New South Wales that are part of our zone. These parents and players are not only having to get these passes, but they're travelling on the border either every week or every second week to play games on the Gold Coast. Their commitment this year is second to none. They need to be commended themselves for everything that they've been doing. Again, we've had issues with certain clubs and teams not wanting to go down to play them at their home grounds, even though it's still in the bubble. So for me, no, I'm not going to go on a rant, but the fact that these people are willing to travel every second week to play football, to get our game going. And we've got to remember, 1,100 players is roughly about 15% of Football Gold Coast's total numbers. So they make up 15%. Without them, our leagues look much different, as you can imagine. So we need them as much as they need us. And that's why what they've shown and the commitment to the game, not only in seniors and junior, I'm talking about everyone, midweek metro teams, Division 2 teams coming, they're travelling from Kingscliff, Moolumbar, all the way through to Ormo. You need to be committed to this game. You need to love that game to do that. And they've shown that. And that's why I think that Coast League, like I mentioned, why the Coast League is getting brought forward to ensure those games get played. It would be the biggest kick in the teeth for those New South Wales teams, Tweed and Kingscliff, to not have the opportunity to put themselves in a position for promotion. And it would be wrong to do that. So, fantastic from them, fantastic from all the parents' clubs. There's a lot of work been involved down south. They've managed to get the job done, and I hope that they can reap the rewards out of it overall as a club for football and the best interest of our game as a whole.
People Well, Mark, I'm getting some absolutely fantastic feedback about the insights that you're providing every week.
Hopefully people are using those. Who knows? Then hopefully they're not using it for their betting advantages and all the rest of it. But if they are, I hope I'm giving them enough insight to get the job done. So.
Very good. Mark Madge from Football Gold Coast, thank you so much for the chat. We'll see you next week.
No problem. Thanks, Darren. Appreciate it.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah.